So something that has occurred today just made me kind of reflect and think about life and how life goes and the things that we encounter in life. So I'm about to show you something semi-graphic. You won't be able to see it up close as I can, but give me a moment. I have a lot to say. The clips that are shown in the beginning was the original actual footage from the incident, and I'm going to call it an incident because it emotionally impacts me. But I was out running errands, and someone hit a dog and hit the dog and continued to go without getting the dog any help to see if it was alive or anything. And to me, the incident was a metaphor for life on so many levels. And so it got me thinking about the adrenal glands. Stay tuned. Zoom past, threatening to hit the dog again, threatening to hit my vehicle, just carelessly going about their life. No, undoubtedly, the person that hit the dog, there was a level of insensitivity and ignorance in that person as well. But some people slowed down. Some people, the person even stopped and asked if I needed assistance. And to me, that's how this video was going to be received. Hopefully, everyone that clicks on it will stop and hear me out. But some people are going to continue to speed through life, not noticing the things around them, and others will stop and pause for a moment, and hopefully more people will stop, think, and change their course of action. So there are some things to consider. One, we all do not react unless someone pulls a gun and starts shooting people, or just someone pulls a gun. There's going to be a consensus that there's an immediate threat, and our bodies are going to react, appropriately to that immediate threat. And there's not going to be some people in their right frame of mind just saying, "Oh, there's a gun. Let me continue to, eat my ice cream." Everyone is going to go into fight or flight. But in everyday life situations, certain adrenal triggers don't affect everyone. For example, prime example, the dog. That was an adrenal trigger for me. But everybody that zoomed past, rocking my vehicle, agitated with me for being in the middle of the road, flashing my flashers, that was not an adrenal reaction for them. So the thing to note is that everybody's adrenal reactions are not the same. Another thing to note is that the adrenals do not manage or understand the difference between fake and real reactions. It does not classify threats. Everything that triggers the adrenal glands gets the same attention, the same body reactions, the same process flows. So for example, if I'm watching a movie on TV and I start to cry, my body doesn't know the difference between me crying because of something on the television, and then something that has actually happened in my life, where I'm crying and it's real and it's really happening. The reactions are going to be all the same. Also, the adrenal glands will be equally triggered for various different stimuli. It doesn't have to be emotional. It could be chemical, physical, psychological. It's really all in the video, so please check that out. But there are a multitude of things that will cause the adrenal glands to fire, and we don't necessarily have to be aware that they're firing. The exception to the statement is that some people are actually nervous wrecks and they have adrenal reactions and they don't even know it. They feel like they're having unexplained panic attacks, depression, angry at the slightest incident. They find a hair on the ground and they go into a raving fit, agitated, paranoid. These are all signs that there is adrenal fatigue or adrenal overload. So I would like to add that the adrenal gland, the adrenal process is normal. It's a natural process in the body. It's a normal fat function capacity that manages the blood flow, the nutrients flow, the hormones, the internal reactions of the body to support the fight or flight mechanism. The problem is when someone is continuously in a stress state because of their lifestyle, because of the late hours they keep, because of the stressful company, because of the food that they're eating, the toxins, and just everyday regular life, the things that we cannot avoid, the body becomes overloaded with this reaction because it affects the thyroid. But you'll have to check out the video to get more information about that. And a person experiences adrenal fatigue. And it looks all different kinds of ways. Some people have the emotional things that I was talking about. Some people pop up at 3 o'clock in the morning because their body is on their insides, their energy level is on 10 because they're having an adrenal moment based because of something they ate earlier, something they witnessed earlier, some type of interaction from earlier. As well as they may have breakouts or their hair may start to fall out. There are going to be various symptoms resulting from adrenal fatigue. So I can hear some people saying, well, what is the point in talking about it if it's a normal process flow? Well, I'm talking about it because it is able to be managed. There are things that we can do to manage our adrenal reactions and therefore support our bodies. So I mentioned earlier in the video, for me, the adrenal trigger was for the dog to be hit in the street while other people were not affected by it. But while I was affected by the dog being hit in the street, I did not allow myself to go into an adrenal moment because, one, I know about the adrenal glands. Two, I know about the drain that it would unnecessarily put on me, especially when I think the dog was dead. But I learned to identify when I was having an adrenal moment. That's when your forehead may start to sweat, your hairs will stand up on their arms, or you'll just get this rush of emotion. I started to identify my adrenal moments and then pick my battles. And the way that I would do that is just rationalize with myself, is it really necessary? Is this really worth it? The cost, the taxing that it is doing on my body. And it has been tremendously helpful for me to help my body manage this very natural process. And it will be in the eliminations that I do. So I will get to the general ways to support the adrenal glands, but since this video is about the actual emotional stressors that cause adrenal reactions, and I'm talking about verbal fights, physical fights, watching these stressful TV shows cause adrenal reactions, entertaining negative thoughts causes adrenal reactions, managing the toxic intake in our everyday existence. So the ways that I have intentionally supported my mental reactions as far as my adrenals go is that, one, I always quote to myself when I feel like I'm having an adrenal moment, a moment that's going to get out of control. I say, "Be ye self-controlled," and that's Bible. And it just allows me to remember that I can control myself. If my eyeballs still work, if I calm down and allow my brain to continue to function, I will make it through whatever is occurring. And that got me through some very hard times in my life. There was a time where I couldn't breathe, but I haven't shared that, but that help me through that moment, which if I had have gone in adrenal, there is effect on your oxygen supply anyway because of everything that goes on. Please check out the video. But I would have had a panic attack that could have cost me my life because I was already having problems breathing. But also, I have fasted, and not the food fast, but actually a spiritual fast where I turn off every communication. If it's not encouraging me, if it's not helping me towards my goal, I would just take a break from it for 7 days out of the month, every month. And that tremendously allowed me to help bring myself to rest and give my adrenal glands a break, as well as meditation, just not looking at certain things. There are certain movies that I don't watch. I don't watch horror movies. I don't watch, I try not to watch, and I most often don't watch catty shows, things like that. All of these things can be done to help someone to better manage the everyday process flows of life and support their adrenal functions and therefore support their bodies. So let me just say, I get it. I do not see the connection between someone, adult or child, throwing a fit, having a moment of anger or rage, someone painting their fingernails, watching a horror movie, crying at a romance movie, sprinkling air freshener on their carpet, inhaling car exhaust, and all the various things that we encounter physically in our everyday today life. I don't see how that is connected to drinking more water, eating more fruits and vegetables, and eliminating certain type of things out of our lifestyle. However, when you consider through the information that I have researched that there are very real reactions, and we take for granted that our body is physically reacting to its environment, and that costs something. So we take for granted that there's a cost for being able to put on the fingernail polish and our fingernails not fall off, or not breaking out with a whole rash, or not having our skin ate off, or there's a cost for having an angry moment and not just having a heart attack or just suffocating. There is a cost for our body to manage our everyday to-day life. There's even a cost for me breathing this air, not knowing what I'm inhaling, and my body is quietly in the background working it out. And what I'm trying to say is that cost is minerals, vitamins, and nutrients. That also changes the blood flows, the digestion process, the food that's digested, the distribution of nutrients. It changes the hormones. It taxes and adds more acid to the body. You have to check out the video to get detailed information. But there is a cost for every adrenal moment in our lives, and just being more conscious about it, managing it through the things that we can do in our day-to-day life, as well as taking on a more responsible, healthy lifestyle, helps. Until next time, thanks for watching.